Sammy Guevara, the Spanish god, has returned, but it looks like he's hopped the wrong border because he's not in AEW. He's returned to Ring of Honor. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. We've seen Sammy saying return from his hiatus, but he hasn't returned to All Elite Wrestling. Instead, Tony Khan has brought him back in Ring of Honor.
And a man with no honour on the search for honour looked to the Ring of Honor for a bit of honour. And what did he find? Well, he just found a bunch of jobbers. I mean, it's Ring of Honor after all, folks. What else would he find?
Well, Dustin Rhodes was there. He was Dustin Rhodes was teaming with the Phonetics. They won the Ring of Honor 6-man tag belts, and Sammy Guevara came out to make the save. Now, this seems like a massive demotion to me. First of all, he's being brought back at Ring of Honor, not AEW. Plus, it was a taped show. So it's a taped show that's going to be televised later down the line. That's if Ring of Honor even makes it onto TV. I don't know, but
no one worth a damn returns on a taped show, by the way.
Yeah, they've done this guy really dirty here, and I think we all know the reason for that, or at least I think the reason for that is because of Mercedes Mone and the fact that, yes, she is right now having a big run in AEW. She's got 2 belts. She mainly appears on Dynamite, but has she appeared on Collision? I think she's made 1 or 2 appearances on Collision.
Yep.
So I would imagine that Tony Khan is keeping Guevara and Mercedes Mone separated, and rather than bringing him back to AEW, he's keeping him on Ring of Honor. Now, Tony Khan said he was going to rebrand it AEW Ring of Honor, but right now it's not. It's just shitty Ring of Honor. So, yeah, this is not a step in the right direction for Guevara. And I do believe it's over the Mercedes Mone thing. People can claim it's because of the Jeff Hardy concussion protocol, but I mean, this guy previously almost ended the career of the other Hardy, so I highly doubt that Tony cares that much more about Jeff than he did Matt.
And who's next? Is it Rebby Hardy? Well, he might do something different to her than beat her up, but anyway, it's Ring of Honor. Put it under the carpet, brother. Tony Khan recently talking about how he wants to make it AEW Ring of Honor. Is it simply because of Sammy Guevara? Is this his excuse? The backdoor entrance to saying, hey, he's back in AEW. Just not AEW, brother. It could be.
Nah, it's not.
It's not? You don't think so, no?
Nah, he's not changing the name of the company just for Sammy Guevara.
I think if there's one guy who's extremely fucking petty to pull that off, it's Tony Khan.
He's not changing the name of a company just for Sammy Guevara.
Why has he not fired them then? What's the point of keeping them in the company? Is it not pathetic though? It clearly, we did say this out in the cold streets of Belfast. We did turn around and say, well, you know what? Sammy Guevara probably wouldn't be welcome backstage when Mercedes Mone is there, and the safest way of doing that is at Ring of Honor. As said previously, Mercedes Mone only appears on Dynamite with the odd appearance on Collision, but there is no appearance coming up for ROH, so Sammy Guevara, that's where he's welcome, because she is nowhere to be seen.
So what you're saying is Sammy Guevara and Mercedes Mone are not on a collision course for Saturday nights?
No, they're not. Well, there'll be no Battle of the Belts, there'll be no collision courses, there'll be no getting down with the Dynamite. It will be Ring of Honor for Sammy Guevara.
So you genuinely think that's what's happening here? Is he trying to keep them separate, or is Tony Khan just demoting Sammy Guevara, maybe a combination of both his work and the fact that he ignored the concussion protocol and could have seriously injured Jeff Hardy, and then you factor in the whole comments he made about Mercedes Mone? Is this a Tony Khan thing where he's thinking, no, I need to move him because he deserves this, he deserves to be demoted, he deserves to be moved down a division or 2? Or is it simply just Tony not punishing Sammy Guevara intentionally, but doing his best to keep Guevara and Mercedes Mone separated, and he thinks rather than, looking at the elephant in the room, the best thing is to do is to keep them in separate rooms? Because I don't think long term that's going to work. I mean, what are you going to do? Even one day, if you do promote Sammy Guevara, are you only going to bring him to Dynamites on the weeks where Mercedes Mone isn't appearing? It just doesn't work. We've seen how Tony Khan, back in the day, rather than fix things, he created Collision for CM Punk. McMahon would never have done that. McMahon created SmackDown to be The Rock show, but it's not because The Rock and Austin weren't getting along. It's because The Rock was so fucking popular and WWF was so popular that they wanted to capitalise on a second show. with Tony Khan, it's like he should just be the whole CM Punk thing in the elites. He should have squashed that, and he didn't. I feel like he should squash this and just get them to meet in a room. And I mean, surely Guevara apologizes, and that should be the end of it. Swept under a carpet, move on. I think that's the right thing to do. But I think Tony Khan prefers to do the easy thing, and the easy thing is to, I guess, just ignore it and pretend it never happened and keep them separated.
History's repeating itself. It's exactly like the CM Punk thing, right? The guy's just not a boss. He's a sheep in wolf's clothing, is what he is. He's a fud. He thinks he's a boss, but he's not a boss. And obviously, with ROH already being there, it's easy just to move Sammy Guevara onto it. It's not a demotion, right? Because Sammy Guevara is a decent level competitor. I'm not going to call him a star, but when it comes to the two between him and Mercedes Mone, who's the
Hold on, what do you mean it's not a demotion?
It's not a demotion for Guevara. It's simply
no,
just
it's a demotion. It's not. You might think.
Yes, but he's not demoting him for the sake of the injury. He's simply putting him on a show that she will not be on.
Yeah, that's a demotion. It's not an intentional one, but that is a demotion.
Well, that's what I mean. It's an inadvertent demotion, is what it is.
Right.
What I'm saying is he's not being demoted due to the Matt Hardy incident. No, sorry, there's not many incidents for the Hardys. The Jeff Hardy incident, right? He's simply being put on ROH because she won't be on ROH. It's what he did with CM Punk. It's because he's a shit fucking boss, man. It's not like Vince McMahon. You're right, McMahon. Fuck, create another show because two guys are twos. McMahon be like, look at Brett and Michaels.
One
man.
of yous have got to go. I mean, well, it wouldn't come to that because McMahon would, bash their heads together.
I don't give a fuck if we don't like each other. Damn it. Come together and I'll shit on top of you both.
And also, I mean, would it help if they had a locker room leader to try and keep these people intact? I mean, if they had someone like The Undertaker to hold things together, to be the glue, but I mean, they
Tony
don't have
Khan's
that.
just a card. He's an indecisive card. That's what it is. And, see that 2004 Survivor Series promo? Oh, the inmates are running the asylum. That's what AEW is. And this guy's supposed to be the fucking warden, but he's the only guy in the prison without a pair of fucking keys.
Yeah, anyway guys, that's it. Sammy Guevara's on Ring of Honor. Mercedes Mone is not on Ring of Honor. Is this going to be a long-term deal? Is he going to ease Guevara back into AEW programming? Or are we going to see Guevara long-term on Ring of Honor? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tony puts the belt on him just to give him an excuse to keep him there. Oh, you can't come on AEW. You're the Ring of Honor champion. Well, how'd that work for Mark Briscoe? He was appearing on Ring of Honor and AEW every week, so...
Yeah, I mean...
He was the Ring of Honor champion, but appearing more in AEW.
Yeah, there's no way it's going to work. I mean, the best case for Sammy Guevara is if she gets injured for like 6 months. So he can come back up.
Yep. Anyway, guys, that's it. Or goes back to WWE. Anyway, till next time. Peace.